You may not know it, but the Medici family, the Fulani, and the Somalis are all descendants of Esau Edom. And the Medici family was related to Charles V, whose brother was the Pope. His son and offspring was Philip of Spain, who we see beside the two Arab men in the middle here. Now, again, their symbol was the male rhino with his exalted horn, or the unicorn. Edomites in Spain and the Edomites in the west coast of Africa were responsible for the slave trade. You can see the Fulani men also dress as women. And we see the women, again, style their hair like the male rhino. So you can see the exalted horn of the Edomite Fulani, and the Somalis are also Edomites. And so we can see it depicted with these women. You can see Edom in West Africa here in this image. And they were also known in Egypt to be the Hyksos. They were also known to be the Hyksos. The first major pointer of this direction is the claim by some Edomia groups that they are descended from a certain Edom. Of all the tribes of Nigeria today, only the Edom trace their ancestry to Edom, according to Irum Idu. So that includes the Edo tribe. And the Edo tribe and the Fulani were all responsible for the transatlantic slave trade of the Bantu diaspora. And Edom was the punitive founder and father that claimed the Edomites or ancient Egyptian roots. And they wore red linen, and they ruled in Egypt for a period of about 100 years, as I said, as the Hyksos. And we're going to see that there were actually priests in Egypt called priests of On, and oftentimes they were Assyrians or they could be Edomites. They were Shemitic priests of On, and of course they were also Egyptian priests of On. But because the Shemites got so corrupted, they functioned as priests of On in Egypt also. So here is Edom in Nigeria today, E1B1B. Now they hide this and they just call the Bantus, who are E1B1A, and the E1B1B Edomites, they call them E3 now to kind of obscure the difference between the two, one being Esau and the other being Jacob. And of course, there was a famous slave trader named Iob, son of Esau, in the land of Esau. And he was a famous slave trader. We see the Edomites in Spain, and notice the shape of their head. Their head is kind of more triangular. You see his head is more triangular shaped because they were mixed with the Canaanites. And I'll show you why in a second. So he was a slave stealer who was captured and traded by the Yehudi, or the Yehudi Dean themselves, and taken to America. And then he was freed and became a hero in Europe. But we can see the European Edomites and the West African Arab Edomites look very much the same, with this triangular head, broader forehead, smaller jaw. And so when we look at the Israelites, we can see that there is a difference between Jacob and Esau. These are the Somali Edomites, again, with the more triangular shaped head. And so these are the Ashanti priests here on the bottom left. And you can see, again, they have this different head shape, which is called dolichocephalic. This is in the book Negro and the New World. And so this is the head shape of Jacob, with a stronger jaw versus the smaller jaw and broader forehead of the Edomites, because what? They mixed with Canaan. Esau married Basemath and Adah, the daughter of Elon the Hittites. These are the Canaanites. And of course, he also married with Ishmael the Egyptian. And so this is where we get this particular look they have, with this more triangular shaped head in the Somalis. And we see it also in the Arabs, the Fulani Arabs, who are depicted here in this painting. And that head shape is called brachiochronic, or it's a mix of Hamitic and Asian, or Shemitic and Hamitic. Okay. So Ham is what they would call Asian today. The Chinese are Hamites. But you see the difference in the head shape between these two. Once again, here is the dolichocephalic of the Israelites. You can see it in the women and the men, the very strong jaw and the well-shaped head. And then we see the brachiochronic compared to the dolichocephalic. It's much broader. And this is what we see in the Edomites. So here's a very old painting of Jacob and Esau, and we see Esau, Edom again with this same head shape, and Jacob with the longer dolichocephalic head shape. And we can see the Somalians, we see the Falash Ethiopians like Haile Selassie and some of the celebrities today, all with the same, this is Haile Selassie here, same head shape, same triangular head shape. And so this is how we differentiate between Esau and Jacob. This is an image of the 2,700-year-old Lachish relief in Judea, Israel, and it depicts the Israelite Judeans being taken captive by the Assyrians. This is the Lachish relief brought to life through an AI rendering of what they truly looked like. Again, it's the dolichocephalic head shape. Again, this is AI derived from a 2,700-year-old relief of the capture or of the Yehudis. And so I want you to take a look again at the horn that these Edomite Fulani women wear. And this is, once again, as I said, they were the priests of On, according to Genesis. And Pharaoh called Joseph's name Japhanath, and he gave him the wife Asenath, the daughter of Potiphera, the priest of On. And of course, we see the same broad head shape with this Fulani woman as with Oprah Winfrey, with the eyes very far apart and the face very flat. And again, this more triangular head shape. And of course, with the priests of On, she actually owns a magazine called On. Now, because Esau killed Nimrod, according to the book of Jasher, please read it. Esau stole the coat of many colors from Nimrod after he killed Nimrod. And by stealing that, he became the inheritor of the kingdom of Babylon and the high priest of Babylon, and Satan, a priest of On. And so again, we see the priests of On, we see the exalted horn, and these represent Egypt. We see the triangle shapes on both of these women's heads to represent the pyramid. Again, this is who sold everyone into slavery, and this is the exalted horn the women wear to symbolize the exalted unicorn horn of the Medicis, the Catholic Church, and the Arabs. All right, so they're all one thing. And so we see that Taraji P looks very much like this same head shape, triangular, very much like this Fulani woman. And we note, I am not a fan of hers, sorry to say. She always plays mammies and coons and loud black women and black women who condone LGBT. But we see the commonality with the Somali as well, with the more of a triangle head shape, who are also Edomites. All right. And we see Diana Ross. There's more history I've gone into with Ross or Roche being associated with Red and Edom, and even marrying in with the Russians and the Huns. So even Diana Ross has the same kind of a triangular head shape. And so these are the Edomites in America. So notice the horn, the exalted horn. So the women wearing the masculine exalted horn. And so we see it as the horn is very prominent amongst the Edomite women of Fulani, and these are the people who enslaved the African diaspora. And oftentimes they work in Hollywood, like Oprah of On, working as priests of On or Eastern Star, and they promote an agenda. They promote an agenda to look like coons, but they are actually Esau, Edom. And so here in this final slide, we have Candice wearing the exalted horn for her brand as the moniker of her channel. She has the same head shape and very similar face shape and look as this Fulani woman. So, and of course, her name is Owen or Own, Candice Owen. So I just thought I would share that with you, family, to give you a little more revelation. I've said over and over and over again that the Black Edomites have played race over and over again because they're looking to flip this narrative purely on race so they can potentially usurp power from Jacob on the comeback. But of course, Yah is in control, and that's not going to happen. I've been wanting to do this video for about 4 days, so here it is, Candace Owens with the exalted horn for her brand. So this is just my opinion, family. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think there's any connections. I certainly do with the spirit of her actions towards the African diaspora and her attitudes around slavery. So, and also this agenda that I believe the Black Edomites are under. And I will continue this story with other videos. Shalom.
Give him thanks by saying hallelujah.